What if I told you that a demonic figure once terrorized the streets of Victorian England, leaping over walls and spewing blue flames? Would you believe me? Picture this. The year is 1837. The setting, the misty, gas-lit streets of London. The city is gripped by fear, whispers of a terrifying creature darting about in the night. They call him Spring-HeeledJack. His name alone sends shivers down the spines of Londoners, a chilling reminder of the unseen terror prowling their city. Spring-HeeledJack is not your typical phantom. He is described as a devilish figure with eyes that glow like red-hot coals, piercing through the darkest night. His face, a ghastly visage that freezes the blood of those unfortunate enough to cross his path. His fingers tipped with metallic claws sharp as a predator's, ready to strike fear into the hearts of the unsuspecting. But perhaps the most terrifying attribute of Spring-HeeledJack is his supernatural agility. He is said to leap over walls and rooftops with the ease of a gazelle, disappearing into the night as quickly as he appears. Imagine being a lone wanderer in the dead of night, catching a glimpse of this demonic figure. Suddenly, a burst of blue flame engulfs the figure, the light casting an eerie glow in the foggy London air. The image of Spring-HeeledJack, shrouded in flames, is seared into your mind, a terrifying spectacle that haunts your dreams for years to come. Spring-HeeledJack didn't merely fade into obscurity. He was only just beginning his tyranny of terror. Imagine Victorian England, gripped by the fear of a malevolent entity, seemingly able to appear and disappear at will. This was the reality during the reign of Spring-HeeledJack. Throughout the 19th century, a series of attacks were attributed to this spectral figure. Each encounter was more terrifying than the last, his unpredictable nature adding to the mounting fear. Eyewitness accounts and grim fairy tales intertwine. An impossible-to-ignore report is of one Alfie Becket of Whitechapel in 1833. Narrowly he escapes, but his altercation with Jack cost him an eye and his right hand, bedridden for months afterwards until his eventual demise, his body ravaged by a flesh-eating virus of unknown origin. Let's delve deeper into some more of these spine-chilling encounters. Picture the night of February 19, 1838. Jane Alsop, a resident of London's East End, answers a knock at her door. The stranger outside claims to be a police officer, urgently needing a light to apprehend Spring-HeeledJack. But as she hands over the candle, the man throws off his cloak, revealing glowing red eyes, metallic claws, and a devilish grin. In the ensuing struggle, Jane manages to escape his clutches, but the terror of that night would haunt her forever. Just days later, another horrifying encounter. Lucy Scales, walking home with her sister through the dimly lit alleyways of London, suddenly finds herself face to face with the demon. With a terrifying laugh, he spews blue flame into her face, temporarily blinding her. The assault is over as quickly as it began, with Jack disappearing into the night, leaving behind a traumatized Lucy and a city gripped by terror. Lucy's fiancé, Eddie Bramwell, pledges to protect her, swearing to catch Jack alive, but exactly 1 month later, he disappears. No word or trace of Bramwell is ever heard from again. This day, a memorial bench with his name sits in Spitalfield Cemetery. It was all they could do, as his body is never found nor identified for burial. Lucy never marries, a sad and broken spinster. These encounters highlight the terrifying tactics of Spring-HeeledJack. His ability to ignite fear with his demonic appearance, his predilection for surprise attacks, and his apparent delight in the terror he caused. He was a figure of nightmares, a phantom whose very existence seemed to defy explanation. Despite the panic and attempts to capture him, Spring-HeeledJack always manages to escape, bounding away with his supernatural agility. His reign of terror seems to have ended with the Victorian era, but the fear he instills lives on. After all, who's to say that Spring-HeeledJack isn't still out there, leaping from rooftop to rooftop, waiting for his next unsuspecting victim? Where did Spring-HeeledJack come from? One legend suggests that Spring-HeeledJack is not of this world, but a demon summoned unintentionally by a group of aristocrats dabbling in the occult. During a séance held in a secluded manor on the outskirts of London, the group, seeking thrill and knowledge from beyond, unwittingly opened a portal to a dark realm. From this portal, a creature with glowing red eyes and the ability to leap incredible heights emerges, terrorizing the participants before escaping into the night. This demon, now known as Spring-HeeledJack, roams our world, a sinister reminder of the aristocrats' folly. As years turn into decades, Spring-HeeledJack is now a ghost story, chilling folklore to scare children. But is he really just a figment of imagination? The 20th century sees an eerie resurrection of this Victorian phantom, with reports of Spring-HeeledJack sightings trickling in from various corners of England. From the shadowy alleyways of Birmingham to the foggy streets of Sheffield, the specter now seems to be everywhere, yet nowhere. His demonic image, that chilling laughter, and those terrifying leaps all remain consistent, adding fuel to the fire of his immortal legend. These sporadic sightings spark a flurry of theories, each more bewildering than the last. Some suggest mass hysteria, a psychological contagion fueled by fear and fascination of the unknown. They point to the societal pressures of the time, the rapid urbanization, and the growing fascination with the supernatural as catalysts for this shared hallucination. But there are others who dare to venture beyond the realms of the earthly, proposing extraterrestrial origins. Could Spring-HeeledJack be an alien entity, they wonder? His supernatural abilities a testament to advanced interstellar technology. His fiery eyes and blue flames, they argue, could be an alien's way of communicating, or perhaps a method of intimidation. And then there are those who believe in the supernatural, attributing his existence to the realm of the paranormal. They paint Spring-HeeledJack as a demonic entity, a spectral being from another dimension. His unnerving leaps and terrifying visage, a manifestation of his otherworldly powers. In the early 21st century, these sightings dwindle, but the legend of Spring-HeeledJack endures. His story whispered in hushed tones around campfires and during late-night gatherings. He is more than just a spectral figure lurking in the shadows. He is an everlasting enigma, a symbol of the unexplained and the unknown. Whether myth or reality, Spring-HeeledJack etched his name in the annals of England's paranormal history. His legend continues to haunt us, reminding us of the mysteries that lurk just beyond the edges of our understanding. Some believe Jack is the result of a deadly deal gone horribly wrong. This tale whispers of a disgraced nobleman, obsessed with gaining back his lost power, wealth, and the influence that eludes his grasp for years. Desperate, he seeks out the devil and makes a pact. In exchange for his soul, he receives powers beyond mortal comprehension. The devil, true to his deceitful nature, grants the nobleman the ability to leap great distances and breathe blue flames, but with a catch. These powers hideously disfigure him into a monstrous visage with an insatiable desire to strike fear and chaos. Betrayed and transformed, the nobleman is now Spring-HeeledJack, cursed to wander the earth, a grotesque shadow of his former self. Now, what if I told you that history has a peculiar way of repeating itself? What if the terror of the past is not entirely buried? Imagine, if you will, that the spectral figure of Spring-HeeledJack has not completely left us into the annals of history. The eerie echoes of his frightful laughter still reverberate through the winding cobblestone streets of London. The mere thought is enough to send shivers down your spine, isn't it? Now, let's investigate the realm of the possible. Reports are trickling in, whispers of unexplained phenomena in the city's shadowy corners. A flicker of blue flame here, a chilling cackle there. The stories are eerily similar to the tales from Victorian times, painting a spectral image of a figure cloaked in darkness, leaping over walls with an uncanny agility. Tales like Ronnie Pike of Stepney, who in 1866 became the bare-fisted boxing champion of London's East End. That evening, he promises to end Jack once and for all, after a long night celebrating the winning of his belt in a watering hole near Bethnal Green. Rowdy and drunk, they hear Ronnie in the streets taunting and hollering, "Jack is yellow-livered, only scares the lasses and leaps away. Face me, Jack, and face a real man." His voice bellows for hours until he is heard never again. When they find his brutally desecrated corpse the night after, his body goes unidentified for days. Ronnie won all his fights by knockout. No way Jack could take him. His friends once thought, but much to their horror, they couldn't help but recognize his pinky ring and that famous tattoo seared into his chest of the Grim Reaper, branded with the words, "Fear not death." Ronnie thereafter becomes only a cautionary tale, trading his belt for a song sung in taverns. For if you fight Jack like Pike, it'll be the Reaper you look alike. For fear of curse, he is the last to ever wear that belt. Today, locals talk in hushed tones, eyes darting nervously to the rooftops at night. Tourists, drawn in by the city's rich history and vibrant nightlife, are now finding themselves looking over their shoulders, the thrill of the unknown tainted by an undercurrent of fear. What is fueling these occurrences, you may ask? Could it be a resurgence of the ghastly Spring-HeeledJack? Or is it merely a figment of our collective imagination, a ghost story spun out of control? Perhaps it's the city herself, breathing life into her old legends, reminding us of a time when gas lamps flickered in the fog and every shadow held a potential threat. Or maybe, just maybe, it's the specter himself, returned from his long absence to once again claim the night as his own. After all, he was never captured, never unmasked. His legend has endured, his image forever imprinted on the city's collective memory. Could Spring-HeeledJack be back to claim the night once again? Or is it just our imagination, fueled by the remnants of a centuries-old fear? Whatever the answer, one thing is certain. The mystery of Spring-HeeledJack continues to captivate us, his specter looming large over the sprawling cityscape of London. So keep your wits about you and your eyes to the sky. You never know what you might see in the shadows. Could you see into the shadows human invention gone terribly wrong? In the fervor of the Industrial Revolution, a brilliant but unhinged inventor believes he will transcend the physical limitations of humanity. Through a series of secret and unethical experiments, he develops a mechanism of springs and gears that can be bound to a person's limbs, granting them the ability to leap over buildings. However, the prototype, when tested on himself, malfunctions, hideously and painfully fusing to his body and warping his mind with the agony of the transformation. The inventor vanishes, but soon after reports of Spring-HeeledJack surface, suggesting that the inventor is the very terror he unleashed upon the world. As we delve deeper into the darkness, the line between legend and reality blurs. The question remains, is Spring-HeeledJack a mere myth, or does he walk among us? From the cobbled streets of Victorian England, a tale of terror has persisted, echoing through the centuries. This straddles the boundary between folklore and fear, the legend of Spring-HeeledJack, a spectral figure whose demonic appearance has chilled the blood of those unfortunate enough to encounter him. His fiery eyes, a ghastly visage that haunts the dreams of many, and his ability to leap over towering walls in a single bound, have all been etched into the collective memory of a city that has seen its fair share of mysteries. His reign of terror is said to have begun in the early 19th century with eyewitness accounts of a ghostly figure spewing blue flames, leaping across rooftops, and terrifying unsuspecting citizens. But who or what is Spring-HeeledJack? Is he a product of a collective imagination fueled by the fear of the unknown? Or is he a demonic entity that has slipped through the cracks of our reality? The answers, much like the subject, remain elusive. Is Jack a curse? A final legend tells of a handsome British soldier, Bonnie John, renowned for his agility and stealth, who was captured during a clandestine mission to Paris during the Napoleonic Wars. As punishment, the demonic secret society and cult enslaves and experiments on him for a time. He becomes cursed by the hand of their medicine man to walk the earth as a leap between life and death. Returning to England, he discovers his newfound abilities, leaping great heights and spewing flames. But these powers came with a cost, his facial deformities and his humanity. Driven mad by the curse, he is now Spring-HeeledJack, a specter caught between the realms of the living and the dead, forever condemned to instill fear in the hearts of those he encounters. In the earliest days of photography, there are chilling images said to have captured his ghostly figure lurking in the shadows. Yet, without concrete evidence, the mystery of Spring-HeeledJack remains an unresolved puzzle, a tantalizing enigma that continues to captivate and terrify in equal measure. As we journey through the annals of history, we are constantly reminded of our primal need to understand the world around us. Yet there are mysteries that defy explanation, phenomena that challenge our understanding of reality. Spring-HeeledJack is one such mystery, so as we move forward, remember to keep an open mind. Question the world around you, for it is in questioning that we grow, and it is in doubt that we begin to see the world in a different light. And remember, next time you're wandering the streets of London at night, look to the rooftops. You never know who or what might be watching from the shadows. On our next tale, beneath the scorching sun and rugged peaks of the Superstition Mountains lies a secret veiled in shadows and whispers, the lost Dutchman's gold mine. Legend tells of untold riches hidden within its depths, a lure that has drawn countless souls into the heart of the wilderness, never to return. Next on Mystery Morgue, we embark on a journey into the unknown, tracing the steps of the enigmatic Jacob Waltz, the Dutchman himself, who took the secret of the mine to his grave. Armed with maps drawn from the tales of old eyewitness accounts shrouded in mystery, and the curse that seems to claim those who dare to seek its treasures, we delve into the lore of this legendary mine. From the gold rush fever of the 19th century to the modern-day adventurers still captivated by its call, the Lost Dutchman's gold mine remains one of America's most enduring mysteries. But what truths lie hidden beneath the legends? Are the tales of curses and vanishing prospectors simply myths? Or is there something more sinister guarding the gold? Join us as we explore the history, the hauntings, and the obsession that surrounds this iconic treasure. Prepare to be captivated by the allure of the unknown, where history and myth intertwine. The Lost Dutchman's gold mine awaits, but beware, for not all that glitters is gold, and some secrets are best left undiscovered. Subscribe to Mystery Morgue and join us on this perilous quest for the truth. Will we uncover the mine's hidden entrance, or will we too become part of its legend?